All right. This is it. Advice at COS. Close of service. I basically have a month left, and we just had our last big conference as a cohort to talk about, how to get a job back in the US, how to wrap up projects at site, and all that good stuff. So I wanted to talk to you all about advice that I have now that I've reached this point of service. So I'd say for service, I think one thing that I was very happy with, and something I could have even done a little bit more, is be present. So not focusing on what's going on back in the States or like jobs that other people are getting. Like stay in touch with your friends and family for sure. But I think being present and knowing that like I'm going to be here for 2 years, like let me stick it out and let me like really, really invest here and put down roots seems a little strong of a word, but like recognize I'm going to be here for 2 years and I can do something meaningful if I really know like the scale of time that I'm going to be here. So I think it's really important to like, I don't know, be present. And being present can mean a lot of things. It can be like really investing in friendships here, like not relying entirely on, your Peace Corps friends or your friends back home, but also like really trying to make meaningful friendships here, and like partnerships outside of friendship as well. It can also mean like buying, I'll show you, being present also means buying that little laundry basket. So before, I just had an old mosquito net that I was throwing my clothes in, and like it worked. It didn't look very nice. And so part of that being present was like, I'm going to be here for a long time. Let me get myself something nice. And my room's a lot better because of it. My clothes are a lot cleaner because they're not on the ground. And I think it just helped my overall like presence to be present. The other thing that I'm thinking about right now is how I've invested in people and how other people have invested in me and what the result has been. Some of the projects that I've done have been less so like me doing the project itself, but more recognizing what people are wanting to do and then giving them the tools they need to like run with it. One good example is, I think it's in another video, but like we got a water tank for the school garden. We already had a fantastic garden master. The students were watering every day, but it was just really difficult to maintain it all given the resources we had. So even just like raising the funds and getting a tank into the garden, once my folks at school had that, they could go. And our garden is one of the only ones that like regional officers have seen that's still green in June, when most gardens have been dead for 2 or 3 months at this point. I came in wanting to be present, wanting to get through it. I'm convinced that Peace Corps is a pass-fail job and that anything else you do is extra credit. And so giving myself that grace and that ease and that and like knowing that like if I'm here, that's all I need to do. It took off that pressure from me to try and change the world. And while it's great to have that mentality, it's also important to recognize that like you're human and you can only do so much. And then once you relax into that mentality, that's when you know how capable you are. And that's something I need to apply as I'm going back to the States, because I feel like, oh my gosh, like everyone I see, like, oh, they have a job, they're all going back to school, or they're all graduating. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going back to nothing. And I need to remember, like, yeah, because I've been here for 2 years. So I'm kind of starting back at square one, and that's normal, that's proportional. So that's far too much out of me. I'm going to pass you on to our other volunteers who also have advice.
If I could give any advice to people who are thinking about applying to Peace Corps or have applied and are waiting to get in or are in the middle of their PSD or wherever you are, if you haven't applied, I would say you should. I know that 2 years seems like a really long time, but the experiences that you have and the connections that you make and the things that you're able to accomplish, like the time will just fly by and you'll have all of these memories and just everything combined, all these experiences that make you like a brand new person, but you're still the same person, but you have all like, you're just new and better and you've grown and the lives that you've touched and your life has been touched. It's just a beautiful thing. It's an incredible thing, and I definitely recommend anybody who is thinking about it to do it. And if you're in it and you're stressed and you're thinking, how am I going to be able to get through this? You will, and you'll be fine.
So Amy, what advice do you have to people now that you've reached COS?
Yeah, so my advice is that if you are thinking about Peace Corps, think seriously about it, because it is a huge commitment. 2 years is nothing to laugh at. But if you do it, just know that you are going to change. Like you're going to grow in ways that you didn't think you were going to grow. And that is pretty cool because it is an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. But undoubtedly, you will experience some sort of personal growth because you're going to meet new people and see things that, like, you might have read about or had ideas about, but seeing things in real time and becoming friends with people who are experiencing things that you've only read about, it's crazy. And it really is going to change the way that you operate.
That's fantastic. Okay, so Lydia, what advice would you have for like applicants or new volunteers now that you've completed COS conference?
I would say, like, going into your Peace Corps service, just get ready to go in with a lot of grace and also like gratefulness, because I think that you're going to learn a lot, and also you're going to have to use grace in a lot of situations because you are going to deal with challenges that maybe you won't expect, and in many ways that you will never estimate beforehand. I would also say that, just like, I'll echo what my wise peer just told me, that whatever your feelings are during your service are valid. And even if you're having bad feelings, those are valid. If you're having really good feelings, those are valid. And I think that the highs and the lows are all worth it and also all valid. So
I guess this is our last one, our COS chat. I think right now, at this point of my service, I just feel a lot of thankfulness, overwhelmingly so. You know, we can look back over the past 27 months and think about projects and think about grants and all the things that we've done. But I think most importantly for me, I'm having fond memories of my village and being able to fully integrate and to gain a new family here in West Africa. But also, I'm thankful for the village that I wasn't expecting to get, which is the village of the fellow Peace Corps volunteers. And I'm getting a little teary-eyed just thinking of them, but I totally didn't expect to have another family in them. And for me, I'm extending another year. I somehow love this country a lot. But all my village of Peace Corps volunteers, they're going home. And for the past 2 years, we've been dreaming together. We've been celebrating each other. We've been there for each other during the highs and the lows. And I'm so excited to see the adventures they're going to go on and do and all the great successes, but I'm really going to miss them. And I think sometimes in life, during the hardest moments, you often look for answers and you look for signs of, oh my gosh, what am I doing? How can I get through this? And sometimes we don't always get those signs, but what we do get are really great friends. So at this time, I'm just feeling really thankful for everyone here who made service so wonderful. So, yeah.